Real good coffee this morning. Good morning to you. I'm battling some kind of virus, flu. I don't know what it is, but hey, I'm Paul Begley. Got to read to you about 4 verses from the Bible out of Matthew 24, and then I want to go over, just highlight the top 10 worst disasters of this year and how that they are all part of Bible prophecy. All right? Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives. First of all, I just want to say that I get chills because I remember in 1996, I was in Israel sitting on the Mount of Olives and just overlooking the beauty of that city. But anyway, as he sat up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered, said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, droughts, pestilence, and disease, earthquakes in divers places, many different places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. Now, go on, it talks about men's hearts will fail them for fear that will come upon them. It goes on to say, because iniquity abound, the love of many will wax cold. It goes on to tell you that many false prophets and false Christ will rise. It talks about the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet. But let's just focus on the disasters first. Okay? 10 of the worst disasters of the year. Well, first of all, number 1, Haiti. Without a doubt, it's probably number 1. It was horrendous, and still, I just saw today that over 350 people have died this past week from cholera in Haiti due to the unsanitary conditions there since the earthquake. Anyway, without a doubt, the Haiti earthquake is one of the worst disasters in the history, maybe, with 220,000 deaths out of a population of around 9 million people. And we are still rebuilding the country there. The Haiti earthquake alone estimated cost between $8 and $14 billion, according to the International Development Banks. Let's continue to pray for the people of Haiti. Number 2, the Chile earthquake. The 8.8 magnitude earthquake was the 5th largest on record, and it moved the city of Concepcion at least 10 feet. It moved a city to the west 10 feet. 500 to 700 individuals died in this earthquake, with the total recovery cost could exceed over $15 billion. Number 3 would be the earthquake in Turkey. That 6.0 earthquake hit eastern Turkey in March of this year, 2010, and killed approximately 41 people. Number 4, there was the China snowstorm. I mean, we don't even talk about this. A series of snowstorms. We're too worried about Lindsay Lohan getting out of jail, or Charlie Sheen going to a psych hospital. We're not, or burning LeBron James's jersey in Cleveland because he decided to go to Miami. We're not focused on the signs that the Bible said would point toward the second coming of the Lord. Anyway, a series of snowstorms and freezing weather hit China's western region. Since the storms have affected millions of people and resulted in 30 deaths just from the snow. In Washington, D.C., there was a horrible snowstorm. Remember that blizzard? That blanketed the northeastern part of the United States with record snowfalls, left thousands of people without power, caused hundreds of accidents, resulted in at least 2 fatalities, and the price tag on this snowstorm, $41 million. Now, number 6 had to be in Iceland. The volcano that erupted. It caused huge ash. Do you remember that last spring? To travel through the air. And the airlines had to cancel their flights. Thousands of travelers were delayed or stranded, some for days. And the loss of airlines was predicted to be at least $1.7 billion due to travel disruptions caused by this volcanic ash that came out of Iceland. And do you remember when it happened prophetically? It happened approximately the same time that the Polish president's plane crashed in Russia with his entire government in the plane with him, 97 people. The top leaders of his army, his Navy, his national security advisors, himself, the vice presidents, the leaders of his banking institutions. I mean, my Lord. Anyway, that plane crashes in Russia on their way to a memorial from the 70 years ago when the Russians slaughtered 26,000 Polish officers. On their way there to Russia to mourn this atrocity, the whole government dies. I still don't think that was an accident. So the earthquake blows in Iceland, and the smoke and the ash was so strong it canceled flights everywhere, and President Barack Obama could not attend that funeral. There's something seriously prophetic about what happened there. And don't forget about the drought and the dust storms in 2010. There was a series of severe droughts. What did I just read? There shall be famines. Okay. There was a series of severe droughts during the spring of 2010 that affected a lot of areas of where? China, as well as parts of the Southeast Asia, including Vietnam and Thailand. The dust storms in March and April affected much of the east of Asia, Eastern Asia. The drought has been referred to as the worst in 100 years in southwestern China. Also, there was the Uganda landslides. Remember that? The landslide that occurred in eastern Uganda on the first day of March 2010. The landslide was triggered by heavy rain between 12 midnight and 7 p.m. At least 100 people were believed to have been killed from mud. Uganda. There was avalanches that happened in a series of 36 different avalanches. You don't even hear about this on the news. They're too worried about, like I said, they're worried about Snooki, on Jersey Shore, or Who's Dancing with the Stars. Well, we're too worried about whether the Republicans will take over the House from the Democrats. Look, there's at least 36 avalanches that struck the southern approach to Salang, which is in Afghanistan. And on February, it buried over 2 miles of road, killing at least 172 people, trapping over 2,000 travelers that were caused by a freak storm in the mountains of Afghanistan. And then, of course, there was the Pakistani floods. And I mean, this was gigantically disastrous. The toll so far was over 1,600 deaths, over 6 million people affected. Pakistan has sought international help to cope with this catastrophic event. Despite mass evacuations, there are fears the death toll will rise as flooding reaches the southern province, and it goes on and on. 5 million people lost their home during the flooding in Pakistan. This was 10. We didn't even talk about the BP oil spill. Are you serious? And the flooding in China. China had some of the worst floods ever. I mean, hundreds of people died in China. What about the hurricanes? Earth. Trying to tell you, people, the world is reeling and rocking like a drunken man. The Bible said it would. Every mountain's going to be moved out of its place. And I'm not even talking about yesterday's events, where I predicted here on Monday that Mount Merapi in Indonesia was going to blow. Okay, 11 minutes after I posted that video, an earthquake of 7.7 hit Indonesia. I said there would be a tsunami to follow it. A day later, here came the tsunami. 272, I think, is the death toll right now. It's going to rise. 6 hours after that tsunami, Mount Merapi erupted 3 times yesterday. And the big explosion's coming. You got to understand, wars, rumors of wars, hatred, murder, violence, mayhem, natural disasters, religious tension. Jesus Christ is getting ready to come back. I want you to be ready. The Bible says, watch and pray, for an hour you think not, the Son of Man will come. I'm Paul Begley. Are you ready?